There's a version of you haven't met yet, one who doesn't flinch when the past whispers, one who doesn't apologize for breathing too loud, one who doesn't shrink to make others comfortable. But you'll only find them on the other side of this, not by pretending it doesn't hurt, not by bypassing the ache, but by walking through it, barefoot, bleeding, breathing. There's a you waiting on the other side, not stronger, wiser. This moment you're in, it's not punishment, it's initiation. You're not broken, you're being broken open. There's a difference. This sadness you carry, it's not weakness, it's signal, a quiet rebellion from the soul that refuses to stay silent any longer. You're not dying, you're shedding, not ending, beginning, not collapsing, transforming. You might not recognize yourself right now because you were never meant to survive what you did and stay the same. The people you outgrew, the dreams that rotted, the pieces you lost on the way here. They were never your wholeness, they were just the container. You weren't supposed to return as the same shape. You're supposed to outgrow the mold they tried to keep you in. Let yourself look unfamiliar. It means you're evolving. Narration script. The child in you still wonders. Will this finally be safe? Will I finally be loved without performance? Let them wonder. Because healing isn't about dragging them into a battlefield. It's about bringing them home. Wrap your arms around the parts of you that only ever knew survival. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be present. Be who they needed, not the one who punished their needs. There was a version of you who said yes when they meant no, who smiled while bleeding, who called manipulation love because it's all they ever knew. That version got you here. Don't shame them. They kept the flame alive through the storm. But now it's your turn to be the one who stays when it's hard, who speaks when it trembles, who loves not to be chosen, but because you finally chose yourself. Love, real love, won't ask you to disappear to be worthy of it. It won't call your boundaries a burden. It won't confuse silence with peace. It won't shame your scars and call it growth. If they left when you said, "This hurts," it was never love. If they vanished when you asked for more, it was never love. You didn't lose love. You lost the performance of it. Now, you get to meet the real thing on the other side of you. Maybe you don't recognize yourself anymore, but maybe that's a gift. Maybe the collapse wasn't punishment. Maybe it was protection. What you called the worst year of your life might one day be the one that saved you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday you'll look back and say, that's where I met the real me. And it won't sound bitter. It'll sound sacred. Grief doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it shows up as fatigue or distraction or craving someone who already showed you they don't care. Sometimes it wears your face and speaks in your voice, and the only way through it is through it. No shortcuts, no bypasses, no spiritual positivity wallpaper, only presence, only breath, only remembering that the pieces don't go back. They become something new. This isn't a comeback story, it's a becoming story. There's no version of you returning. That version collapsed for a reason. The one rising now isn't trying to impress, isn't trying to be palatable. This version isn't smiling for approval. This version isn't waiting to be chosen. This one is choosing themselves. That's what makes the old version grieve. That's what makes the world shake. On the other side of this, you'll feel peace that isn't silence. You'll feel love that doesn't feel like work. You'll feel stillness that isn't numb. You won't just trust the world again, you'll trust yourself. You'll stop over-explaining. Stop waiting for closure from people who never gave you clarity. Stop performing your worth like a monologue on repeat. You'll speak less, but mean more. You'll love less, but love deeper. You were never too much. You were just surrounded by people who couldn't hold your fullness. So you became smaller, more convenient, less whole. But on the other side of this, you rise. You don't just reclaim your voice. You become the echo that others. There's a you on the other side of this, and they're not polished. They're whole, not perfect, but present, not fearless, but finally free. You'll meet them when you stop chasing the old story, when you stop waiting to be rescued, and realize the rescuer was always you. You'll meet them when you sit with the fire, and let it burn off everything that was never yours. You'll meet them in the quiet after the storm, when your name is no longer a whisper, but a thunder that says, I'm still here. And I remember now who I was before the world told me to forget. Because on the other side of this, you're not just alive, you're awake.